I think intermittent fasting was just what I needed. So I really needed something to kickstart my weight loss. I have been dieting for a total of almost 15 months, and it had just kind of slowed down a bit for a month or so. And part of that I think was adding the exercise into my program. And everybody told me, okay, you're going to be gaining muscle. Even if you're losing weight, it might be a wash. I think there's some validity to that, but it's hard when you're looking at the scale and you continue to diet and diet and diet. You're not seeing the results that you want. Well, I started the intermittent fasting 2 weeks ago. It's been 2 full weeks on intermittent fasting. The first week, I lost 1.2 pounds. This week, I lost a total of 2 pounds. I am so excited. For 2 weeks, I have lost a total of 3.2 pounds. And I'm sure nobody online is keeping track of my weight loss, but that puts me at 70.2 pounds. I hit the 70-pound mark this morning. I am so excited. I am so excited. So anyway, that is a big deal for me. It's kind of like one of those milestones, and I have been working really hard to get there. And I'll tell you what, something mentally now is saying, I am just 30 pounds away from 100 pounds. I mean, I'm actually not that far off from my healthy weight if you if you look at it in terms of like 10 pounds at a time. So I thought it might be kind of fun this week for my successful Sunday weight loss, which was very successful this week and last week, to just go over some of the things that have worked, some of the obstacles that I faced, and some of the things I face over the next week. Because as you know, Thanksgiving challenge has its own challenges. You know what they are. Let's see. Halloween, Thanksgiving, candy, cookies, pizza, I don't know, dressing, mashed potatoes, I don't know. But having grandkids and being involved in my grandkids' life, it just seems like I'm always around food. And they eat all kinds of yummy things, and I'm just always tempted, but I just really worked to try to stay on plan. So these are some of the things that worked for me this week. So the number one thing that worked, I think this week and last week, I've already touched on it a bit, is the intermittent fasting. This is like amazing to me. I don't start eating until 12. I cut off my eating at 8 o'clock. Now I've heard people do a shorter window of like 6 hours. I kind of struggle to stay even within that 8 hours. So I'm having success. So this is what I'm going to do, 12 to 8 o'clock. And it's working. It's working for me quite well. So one of the things I started doing a few weeks ago when I first started the fasting was that I was putting milk in my coffee. I had read that you could have a little bit of milk in your coffee, but after I got some messages from some of my subscribers, and then I really started digging into it, you really shouldn't be having anything other than just some plain coffee. So to avoid a headache and a major meltdown in the morning, I am still having some coffee. That's it. And then I start my main meal at noon. So I either start off with like a late breakfast. So I do like eggs and a protein tortilla, or I do like a wrap with a protein tortilla, cheese, meat. If I have leftovers from Trim Healthy Mama from the night before, I do those. And so I think the intermittent fasting has been the number one thing that's really kickstarted my weight loss again. So the second win that I had this week, I have a personal trainer that I hired about a month and a half ago, I guess. And I really like him. He is just really good. I think he really understands some of the physical challenges that I have and what my goals are in the long run. And I just think it's going really well. Well, he had his own obstacles happen. He was in a car accident a couple weeks ago. And I think initially he tried to go through and help people with their training, but he was really struggling with being hurt from the accident. So he contacted me, said, I'm going to be off for a week. If you want, I'll just, get together with you the following week. I thought, I don't want to miss a week of training. So I contacted the gym. They actually hooked me up with two different trainers. They were wonderful. I mean, I'm going back to my original trainer on Tuesday this week, but I was so excited because now I just feel like that, I didn't miss a week when I may have. So I was really happy about that. It took a little bit of work getting a time that fit with people I didn't know that were already busy, but they fit me in and I had a great week working out. So my biggest obstacle of the whole week was Halloween. And let me explain why. So I am a sugar addict. I mean, I would eat sugar over anything on my diet, any meal of the day, any day of the week. So Halloween's always kind of a trigger for me. Just the candy, handing the candy out, going trick-or-treating with the grandkids, making cookies after, the whole thing. It's just a hard holiday for me. So this year, I don't know, I developed a huge amount of strength with Halloween and I made up my mind. I thought, go have fun, do what you need to do, go trick or treating, have a nice time, allow yourself one or two pieces of candy and move on. Do not beat yourself up, just go with it. So that's exactly what I did. Now, I had eaten kind of an early dinner before we went trick-or-treating around 3 o'clock. And of course, I was starving then after the kids had all their big baskets of candy when we got back and started making cookies. So my son and I actually ended up driving up to Chick-fil-A. We brought back, chicken, whatever everybody wanted. And I had never had like a chicken salad, a grilled chicken salad at Chick-fil-A. It was actually very good. I think I had a cilantro lime dressing or something with it. And it was very good. It wasn't real big. It was just a medium-sized salad with some grilled chicken. It just fit everything I needed. I was full enough. It got me past that hump and I was good. I didn't have any other treats, nothing the rest of the night. And so I felt like Halloween for me was a huge win. It was a huge win. So those were my big wins for the week. Now, of course, I did have some obstacles, and those were the things I just talked about. Halloween started off as a huge obstacle, worrying about how things were going to go. Once I found out my trainer was going to be out for a week, I was worried about that. And I thought, I just don't want to go a week without a trainer. Even if I'm exercising myself, I've kind of gotten the habit of doing arms and legs on different days with him. And he just pushes me a little harder maybe than I'd push myself. And so I was really happy that I was able to work that out. So those were my obstacles for the week. Now I have some big things coming up this next week. My son, I have twin boys and they're full grown now. One of them lives in another state. I'll be seeing him in a few weeks. And then the other one lives here close by me. And so I'm celebrating his birthday this week and then the other one in just a couple weeks. So anyway, we're going to be going to Disneyland. We already have reservations at the Blue Bayou, which is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. But I did pull up their menu. It's a lot of really heavy duty food there. So I'm going to have to really think this through. So that's kind of an obstacle. I know we're going to be eating like a lot of junk food because it's his birthday and eating out and that kind of thing, but it's going to be a lot of fun and I'm determined to stay on my plan. I am going to make sure that I'm eating within that 8-hour window, that I cut off at 8 o'clock. I don't start before noon. I think that'll be a big help. Lots of walking. I always take a walker when I go to Disneyland or anywhere where I have to walk a long distance, because I do have spine problems and I push myself pretty hard. I do all the walking. I never get a scooter, but I have a seat in my walker, and after about 30 to 40 minutes, that's about it for me. I have to sit for like 2 minutes and then the back pain goes away. It's just the weirdest thing. And so I can continue on then for another 40 minutes. But I always put one of the kids on my walker, and it is hard to push. I know it's burning calories. So it's a double win taking my walker. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but it works out great as far as being able to sit. And then I always have a place for the grandkids when they're tired and getting a little extra exercise. Another obstacle that I have, and it doesn't really sound like an obstacle, it's really fun, is my birthday's coming up. And so I do have a couple of lunches set up with some friends. I'm going to have a dinner set up on my birthday with my family. So I have realized since I've been on this diet that if I prepare as much as possible by checking out menus and thinking ahead and figuring out how to stay on my plan, that I really don't have problems eating out occasionally. Celebrations are not. So that's one of the things, as far as obstacles, I got kids' birthdays, I got my birthday, I got Thanksgiving coming up, and I really have to just think through, what can I do to stay on my diet, to find something to eat on plan. Now, Thanksgiving this year is going to be a little bit harder because I'm not going to be at my house. I'm going to be at someone else's house for Thanksgiving. I don't really know the menu that they're planning. It's actually someone that, I haven't actually had Thanksgiving with before. So I think what I'm going to do in that case is just bring something that I know I can eat. I know I can eat turkey. I know I can eat whatever it is I bring, and hopefully there will be some kind of vegetable or something that I can have on there. I don't want to blow all this hard work for 1 or 2 meals. I feel like this time of the year between like Halloween and Christmas is hard for everybody. Everybody's baking, and it started snowing and raining. The weather's getting cooler, apple pies, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just doing what I can do. I don't want to sabotage myself. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy myself, but I also want to make sure that, I'm not ruining all this hard work that I have done for the last 15 months. So anyway, that's some of the wins, that's some of the obstacles I've overcome, and that's some of the obstacles I have for the next week. So I think I have a good plan in place with the intermittent fasting, with planning my meals the best I can. And then the third thing on my list is just have fun. I think that's the motto for my life in retirement. My sister was writing me on an email just last night, and she said, "Your life's like one big party." I think it is to some degree. I mean, when I was younger, I've always had a lot of fun. I always try to make as much fun as I can, but it just seems like when I was working full time and, always worrying about bills and that kind of thing, I mean, it was a different life. And now I feel like I've kind of gotten to the other side of it, and hopefully if my health holds up and, health for my family and friends holds up, I think should be smooth sailing. So we shall see. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope your Thanksgiving challenge is going well. I hope that maybe I inspired you. If you're not on the challenge, we still have, let me tell you, we are on week 2. We still have 3 weeks left of the Thanksgiving challenge. It's a 10-pound challenge. We will be ending it on Thanksgiving Day. And I hope that if you are trying to lose a little bit of weight before the holiday, that maybe this will be something that'll inspire you to do it. I'm committed, and I am going to get as close to that 10-pound number as I can. So thanks for joining me. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.